communications ones would put their gender pronouns.
Report!
And I just feel
Course
uncomfortable
correspondence
because
here.
I don't know
We're
what to
drifting.
call them.
Arthropods are cold.
Because I don't want to. I mean, I do want to offend
Mr.
my
Gender
professor.
Pronoun.
Hi, Mr. It.
I remember when I remember my first interaction with gender pronouns. It was fucking who was it?
Has been college.
The girl. I don't want to say
Mhm.
names, obviously. But she
Was
was
it a
like,
forehead girl?
no, it was a teacher. But she
We'll talk about
she
forehead girl
emailed
later
her.
on.
She emailed me, and like at the bottom of her email was like her pronouns. She it just said she her, and I was so
Mhm.
confused. I was like,
Who?
what does this mean? Obviously she's a girl. And I sent a Snapchat to you guys. I was like, what is this thing at the bottom? What is this? What does this mean? And
And I being a Canadian,
Jared just said, "Oh, that's her pronouns." I was like, "What? What is that? What do you mean her pronouns?" I obviously know. Like,
And you
does she
guys
think
made fun
I'm
of
a
me for not
child?
knowing what verbs and adverbs.
Like, does she think I'm a child?
Here in Canada, we learn pronouns immediately.
Like, why did she, like? I thought she was insulting me. That's how I
Yeah,
took it.
Here's a list of what pronouns are.
Yeah, I took it.
Who you think I am?
I just took it as a giant insult. Like, who? I understand. I get it. You're a woman. You don't need to force it down my throat. But I guess that's just what that entire gender does. It's just, I mean, really, when you
No,
think
guys
about
are
it.
doing it too. It was in the news the other day because I don't know if you know either of these singers, but Sam Smith and Shawn Mendes.
Are they both gay?
Sam Smith is,
I
and he
think
like
Shawn
won some
Mendes-
award, and Shawn Mendes was like, "Oh, he's such a great guy. He's a great dude, or whatever." And then
Mhm.
everyone's like, "He identifies as a she twat fuck nugget," and then, well, you didn't call him that or her that.
I
Oh,
like
yeah.
I like Shawn Mendes because I don't know a single one of his songs, except I remember one time he was like trending on Twitter. And it was just because people thought he was gay, and apparently like his fans are like, "Stop calling him gay. He's not gay. He said it multiple times." And I'm like, if you have to come out multiple times and say that you're
It's
not
not
gay,
gay.
then maybe there's
Worth speculating about.
maybe there's some truth to the speculation a little bit,
He's dating one of like the
Maybe
hottest
he's not like
Mexican
sexually
singers.
gay, but maybe he's like
I feel like all the closeted gay
Selena
guys, though.
Gomez.
No. Her name's Camila Cabella.
What
I
a
think
funny
she's
name.
a
What a funny name
transsexual.
for a fake person. Yeah, my
What
girlfriend's
does she live
name
underground
is
too?
Camila Cabella. Like,
She
He
goes
also
to a
hesitates like I just did.
yeah.
Come.
He's like Camila.
Kamehameha.
Yeah. He's like Camila, and then he looks across the street, sees a Cabela store. Cabela.
Cabela Bam. Guardium Leviosa.
So, one thing I wanted to talk about on the podcast is the fact that it's NFL Sunday, and I know that we don't usually do sports, but since we got Jared here, I just wanted to ask Jared, what do you think about these slate of games for Sunday? Are you excited?
Once it gets to the end of the regular season, usually the games get worse. The weeks get worse
But
because you already kind of
this is like the last good
Does
week,
the
I
viewership
think.
go up as it gets worse?
The games become less meaningful because now there's a lot of teams that are already out, and a lot of those teams are playing this week. So it's like, oh, I don't need to watch that game, and that game. So then it just kind of limits down to like, oh, there's two big games.
Yeah, and like but like during this time, you'll get like some like games that are like basically playoff games, like Chiefs.
Like I'm looking at the schedule right now,
Chiefs
and a
Saints
lot of these
should be like a pretty good like classic. You'll remember this game.
Andrew Brees is playing.
Yeah.
Seattle, Washington is probably the second biggest game.
Then you got games like the Rams against the Jets.
Yeah, it's just all this garbage.
The
Bucks Falcons. How many times have we seen that game?
Yeah, Bucks Falcons. what does it feel like now? Because we're both Patriots fans. All three of us are Patriots fans, actually. Knowing now that the Patriots are just absolute, they're not going anywhere. They're not making the playoffs, and now
I
they're
kind
one
of
of
figured
those
that for a while
teams
now.
that's just stuck in mediocrity, and there's no point in watching them anymore.
Well, it ebbs and flows, It's cyclical. It's going to come back again, and it's going to be even sweeter than it was before.
Oh, I don't know. That'd be tough.
I don't know. It's gonna be a while, Hayden.
I think you're going to be dead by then, but you know what I mean? You guys had your fun. Everything ends. Everything burns.
It does.
It's going to come back around for our great grandkids.
The Patriots.
I'm more excited for the offseason. We're gonna actually have a nice draft pick this year, a decent one.
I am. I'm not as excited for the offseason as I am for the playoffs because I don't know if you've looked at the playoff matchups here right now, but like
Playoffs are gonna be really good.
Like the Patriots still have a slim chance of making the playoffs, and I don't want it to happen because the playoffs right now as they stand are so intriguing. You got I think like the Bills against the Browns right now, the Dolphins against the Steelers, and then the Titans against the Colts. All three of those games are great.
I think Steelers are going to lose
First
week of the playoffs.
You and I were talking about the Steelers. I was correct in calling the Steelers frauds. I knew the Steelers were frauds to begin because the Steelers they've been doing the same thing for like the last 3 years. They go up against a team like Jacksonville and they'll be losing the game for 3 quarters and then they'll, just because of their talent alone, they'll manage to squeak out a win. And that's fine and dandy.
10 weeks in a row.
That's fine and dandy until they run into a team that's good or they inevitably lose to a team that's bad, like they did to the Redskins and they did to the Bills. All it took was 2 losses. They're 11-2, and everybody knows. Everybody knows that they're frauds.
So when we do the playoff predictions, Hayden, I know we probably say this every year, but literally any single team could win the entire thing. Every team.
Especially in the NFC.
Washington.
It's so exciting.
Besides Washington.
No, I think the Redskins got a chance, man.
Like, you know how, like, some years Hayden will make, like, a weird pick, and we're like, oh, we know
like
that's
the
not going to
Vikings?
happen. Like, anything could happen. Literally anything. Can't judge any picks.
I'll find a way.
I think the NFC is wide open in terms of who makes the Super Bowl. I have problems with basically every single team. However, in the AFC, I think it's decisively Kansas City right now. Like
I think they can be beaten. I think they could be beaten by any team. I really do.
I don't think they could be beaten by the Steelers. I don't think they could be beaten by the Bills.
I think a good defense and a mediocre offense can beat them because the Chiefs have such a great offense and such a ferocious defense that if you could just hold them on offense a couple of plays.
I think their defense does exactly what it needs to, though. Keep teams from scoring over 24 points. And that's like that's such an easy standard to have for a defense. Like, all they need to do is stop a team from scoring 24 points and they're going to win the game. And that's crazy.
I'm excited to see whichever team beats the Saints in the first round again because their fan base is going to be very excited. I'm happy for them.
Yeah, and then they're going to lose in the first round because that's how it happens. The Saints are the Steelers of the NFC. That's what the Saints are.
I really thought it was going to be Packers Chiefs last year. Now I'm kind of feeling it again.
Oh, please, Packers are the same old thing every single year. I have not been.
They're better this year than they were last year.
Yeah, and they got that amazing quarterback.
Yeah, best quarterback of all time, Aaron Rodgers.
Great commentary.
I know some things. What I know is hard truths.
The thing with Aaron Rodgers, though, is that it's just he has Devontae Adams, and that's it. When it comes to the playoffs, I'm sure Aaron Rodgers will play great, have great games. However, he'll go up against a team that is smart, doesn't let Devontae Adams beat them. And then he'll have to throw to Robert Tonyan and Marcus Valdes-Scantling and Jamal Williams and all these other bums, and they're going to get beaten because all those guys suck. That's what's going to happen to the Packers. They're going to lose in the divisional round to the Redskins. The Redskins are going all the way, baby.
I swear to God, if the Redskins win a game in the playoffs, I'm going to be so pissed. They don't even have a quarterback.
I think they're advanced up against Seattle right now. I honestly think they could beat Seattle.
They could.
Because Seattle is just...
Seattle just lost to the Giants.
Yeah, Seattle, I think, is hit their prime. They hit their prime way too early. And now they're just... I don't know. I just don't feel confident right now in the Seahawks for right now.
Yeah, they're pretty much doing what the Steelers are doing. They're really good beginning of the season, and now they're falling off at the end.
Yeah, and that's the worst thing you can do for when it comes to football. I didn't make 5 questions. I just made like some loose like questions that I came off with the top of my head.
So we come out hard right off the bat?
I don't know. It's up to you if you want to.
Jared. All right. Would you rather have a gay son or a slutty daughter? That's a big conceptual one. A lot of different venues to go around. Feel free to think about it too, Will.
Well, as a man of God, I lean against the gay son, because then
not the slutty daughter?
The slutty daughter's the slutty daughter, and I hate that.
Sin as well.
But the slutty daughter's gonna want to talk to the mom, while the gay son might want to talk to me. That's the problem I'm having if I'm involved.
The gay son may want to talk to me.
That's
his father. How dare you open your mouth, you cretin.
What am I going to buy him for his birthday? A baseball glove? He's not going to want that.
And he'll want a baseball bat. What do you?
I see. My theory here is simple, because I look at a gay son, and it all depends how gay he is. Because if he's just like talks normal and everything, and he's just like, I like fucking dudes in the ass.
He might change his gender pronouns. That's another thing you have to consider.
If he's just like that, just like a chill gay guy.
Why wouldn't you?
I think I'd choose that over a slutty daughter 10 out of 10 times.
However, you could throw a football around.
If he's like, I like getting fucked in the ass, and he's like got that stupid voice and everything, we're not winning the gay audience right now. That's for sure.
I'll tell you what. The gay people need to understand. It's hard if you were a father to relate to that gay son. It's not like
It's not that it's hard. I just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
We'd get it if our son was like, "Yeah, I want to fuck a dude." Be like, "Yeah, I understand that. Totally makes sense to me. It's like the same thing." But
however, if you got like one of those gay sons that's like, "I want to get fucked in the ass," and like has that gay voice that just,
we're like, "Sorry,
you basically got the same thing. You're basically choosing between the same thing.
I don't think they're the same thing.
It's like choosing between Diet Coke and Coca-Cola.
Think of this angle. If I had a slutty daughter, all the boys would be coming over to the house, and I could be that cool dad that's got the nice TV and the setup, and all the guys come over and hang out and watch sports.
Would you like it when 3 guys come over to your house?
And you know what's going to happen? They're going to
have a good time.
3 young, cool dudes. Don't disrespect them.
I doubt they're that cool. They're probably just anybody at high school.
All the guys can come over and hang. I'm down for
You'll
that.
know everybody. That's cool. Fine. Go
It
ahead
would
and
be
hang
great.
Have any friends by that point.
It would be great to have a son in high school.
Yeah, Will
and
have killed himself by then, and I'll be in the trees.
It would be great to have a son in high school, and like he's like, I want to bring my friends over, and like his friends are like, they come over with, and like they sit on your couch and they crush beers to watch the game and everything.
Your gay son's gonna have his other gay friends come over to your house. That's gross.
What would be worse? What would be worse? Cool, your son brings home like his gay friends to watch football, or your son?
No. They're not watching football. They're watching Desperate Housewives.
No, they're watching WWE, of course.
Or your 16-year-old son says he's gonna bring home 3 friends, and they're each in all of his friends are in his 30s, and they like a bunch of 30-year-olds come over to your house, like, yeah, we're friends with your son.
Yeah, we met him
Call it Chris
online.
Hansen.
You know what? Your son's you raised a good son. We like hanging out with this one. All right. How about that? I was surprised you didn't want to hang out with a gay son there, Jared. I'm shocked. How about
Since you're
Already
so
know.
gay, you're such a little fag.
It's more I'm trying to stay away from my inclusion in things. Slutty daughter, that's the mom's problem.
Yeah, yeah, that is something that you can do. You can just blame your wife for that. Like, you did this.
all right.
You son
I
of a
see.
bitch.
Yeah, but you hugged him too much.
Yeah,
I told you to tell him to move the bricks from the front of the house to the back of the house.
listen. I'm just.
You did.
I'm just
I
gonna.
told you not to buy that golden retriever.
Like, I'm totally fine with having a gay son. I just don't want him to be basically a girl. I don't. Basically, my answer to this question is I don't like women, and I don't want my son to act like a woman.
A gay son to be nothing like a woman.
I don't like. I'm fine with a gay son. I can definitely come to terms with that. I just
Oh my
don't want
God.
him to act like a woman. That's all.
What about whatever answer you just chose, or an autistic son?
I was thinking about autistic kids too, of course, because that's naturally the progression of this conversation.
That's why I don't want a kid.
Normal, gay, autistic.
The fact that there's a percentage that it could be autistic and I have to deal with that for the rest of my life is something I can't risk.
Well, that's the same thing as getting married and having her divorce you and take all your stuff.
I would rather that than have an autistic kid.
Yeah, then that's only 50%.
Take half. I'm still a free man.
How
Kind of.
autistic is he? Like, obviously, like that meme I showed you, Hayden, of
Like
like the Hearts of
drooling.
Iron. Like, do you got to tackle this kid and like bring in
His arms down.
bring in your wife
Borderline, like,
to like
would
hold
suck
him
your dick
down?
if you convinced him to.
He was like, I don't want like again,
All right.
I don't want work. Like, life for me is
I want kids that raise themselves.
yeah. I don't want to have to deal with.
I want them to drop out the pussy already knowing all lives.
He's saying what I'm saying. He just doesn't want to be involved in this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You can have a kid and be a father, but you don't want to be involved.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, here's the level of parents I want to be. I want to go to the hockey game to like watch a hockey game at the high school and then find out, oh my God, my son's playing?
And then you talk to the principal of that middle school and then you shake his hand for a good 3 seconds.
Yeah.
That's what I want to be.
Like, you look at the roster and you're like, my son's on this team? That's what I want. That's the level of
I didn't know because he has his mom's last name.
What about
Jared, would you rather marry that slutty girl or marry a racist girl?
There's a racist girl in Mass Effect. And
yeah, really?
Yeah, her name's Ashley. Well, she's racist against like other aliens.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's kind of hot. So I'm leaning that way.
Well, are you thinking racist girl too?
I think everybody would choose racist girl because
I think that's the knee-jerk reaction as a guy.
Here's the thing about a racist girl,
except the black guys,
is
maybe they're into it too.
Yeah,
they like
it. But the racist girl you can make like racist jokes with. I assume she'd be funny. However, if this racist girl, if like you make a joke about like Asians or like Hispanics are lazy, like some joke, and she's just like, yeah, that's just how they are. Like, she doesn't laugh like a cold-hearted psychopath. Then I'll be like, oh, maybe this isn't the best decision.
Where's the punchline? I'm waiting for it.
You can't be a selective racist.
Like,
you either are or you aren't.
Like, I think the idea is maybe we need to find a racist person and talk to them. Maybe tell them a joke and see if they laugh. I don't know if they find...
Oh, everybody, we just got one. Hayden's here.
I don't know if they find racist jokes funny or if that's just, that's water under the bridge. That's just, where's the joke? Where's the fun? Where's the comedy here?
Yeah, like,
it's not a joke. That's real life.
So either she's just has a poisoned mind.
That's when like Edward Norton enters the chat.
Either you're dating a racist girl who might be funny, we don't know yet. If anybody's racist and would like to call in to the radio show that's been canceled, then feel free and let us know if you find racist jokes. They probably find them the hilarious thing, because why wouldn't they? I mean, they're jokes. Everyone finds them funny.
I mean, have you noticed that this question just boils down to, for at least Hayden and I, we just want a funny girl, and we just want a girl that laughs at our jokes. That's all we
But
want.
what if she's funnier than you are?
That's fine. That's even better.
And other people acknowledge it.
Oh, that's
That's
fine.
a problem.
If I'm laughing and I'm having a good time, then I'm fine. Like I don't care. First of all, Jared, the situation you bring up is just wildly unrealistic.
Isn't possible.
Yeah, it's not possible.
I think
maybe Dave Chappelle will change his gender pronouns.
Oh man, could you imagine if like a guy like Dave Chappelle, like what if Bill Burr came out and said, "I'm a woman."
Well, he basically did. He came out and said, "I'm going to be in the new Star Wars show," and everyone was like, "Oh, you son of a, you fake fraud!"
I know.
Didn't he hate Star Wars? But
all his podcasts, he would make fun of him just to get your goat.
Yeah, they were actually talking about that recently. It's like, you've shit on Star Wars and now you're in it. How do you feel? He's like, I like making fun of things that people like. I do it about everything. It's not specifically my hatred for Star Wars. Which makes sense.
It would be great if he doubled down. It's like, no, I fucking hate it. I hate Star Wars.
This is a paycheck. That's what this is.
Yeah, I think the fucking show sucks. I think
everybody's gay and I hate everything.
Yeah. I still
when you see the final take in the show, just know 3 seconds prior to shooting it, I was screaming at everybody, calling them losers.
I still can't wait for
that's Tom Cruise.
Yeah, Tom Cruise, man. Do you think Tom Cruise purposely leaked that? Because like, I feel like a guy like Tom Cruise. Oh, Hayden, do you know what we're talking about?
Yeah, I've heard it. I heard a bit. I guessed it was Tom Cruise as a voice.
Oh yeah, I played it for you. But I feel like a guy with Tom Cruise. Everybody knows he's a Scientologist and a piece of shit for being a Scientologist.
Crazy. And he's got a center tooth.
Yeah.
Look it up, people. He's a freakazoid.
You're sheep. Look it up. But Hayden, I think you were the one that told me this. Like, if Tom Cruise murders someone, it is the Scientologist's job to like cover up the crime.
Cover it up, take the fall, because you
defend him at all costs.
Yeah, like. And people know that, and I think people all the girls that have come out from Scientology and they're sex addicts, they've raped us and stuff like that.
Freaks.
That's I think everybody knows that, and
Tom Cruise church people
takes a hit PR wise for being a Scientologist. So I think what happened is that he probably went on that rant of wear your mask, everything, make himself look good for the public. So they're all like, Tom Cruise is a good guy, look at him. That's what I think the conspiracy theory.
I don't think it was staged though. I think he actually yelled at people. I don't think he was just in a room by himself.
No, what he said is what he believes, no doubt. But I definitely wouldn't be surprised if he got upset and was like, make sure you're recording this. This is gonna be good for the podcast.
Scientology talking to him and saying we should do something like this. I don't think it was his idea. If it was staged or fake.
See, I don't know. Everything in Hollywood to me is fake until proven otherwise.
The Tom Cruise episode of South Park, which has been, I think they got taken down.
Isn't he gay?
Matt Stone and Trey Parker. No, he was really, really short and really crazy. But
jumping on couches on Oprah or something.
They released that episode just shitting on everything about Scientology, and then they were being stalked by Scientologists, the creators of the show. And one time, I think it was Matt Stone, opened his window and there were Scientologists in his trash, digging through it, trying to find things to get him in trouble for. Which is pretty hilarious.
One of the people on South Park was the guy who played the black chef. I think he was a Scientologist.
Yeah.
And he was?
He really hated Isaac something. He really hated that episode, and that's why he quit the show.
And they kill him off.
Is that, and then that's why they made fun of it? Because obviously, one of the most famous things about South Park is how they just deface his character.
When you die, you void your vowels. I said, I heard when you die. And then they make his character shit himself after he fell to his death. That's a vivid memory of that and the Japanese people in Waterworld.
Yeah,
yeah,
stabbing the dolphin.
Those
Dolphins.
are the two best bits. South Park.
I like. I think I like the Man Bear Pig episodes of South Park because
Pig.
they make because like obviously the joke is they're making fun of climate change, and then like it kind of like as time goes on, climate change becomes more and more of a serious issue, and they have another episode where they're like, "Oh, we're sorry, Man Bear Pig was real. We're sorry, Al Gore."
I love the episode when Randy finds out that if you have cancer, you can get medical marijuana. And he just puts his dick in a microwave.
Yeah, no, they
just
put
leaves
their
it in
balls
there.
in there, right? And then they got
Yeah, his balls get
beanbag.
massive. And he just has his huge balls in like a wheelbarrow, and he's walking them around town. He's smoking pot. And he's just singing Buffalo Soldier. That was great.
If you had, I'm just gonna change the topic. If you had what would you do if you had an estranged child? Like if you had sex with a girl, she had a kid, like 5, 8 years down the road, she comes to you. It's like, hey, this is yours.
That was me. Oh, and of course
5
we
to
go through the
6 years
detail.
down the road.
The detail of all like test the DNA.
Yeah, it's yours.
I know who this girl is.
Yeah, it's yours. It's yours.
And I part of me is like, cool. And the other part of me is like, I don't. Who's got the time?
See, once it's like 5 years down the road, like he's been raped for 5 years, like you've already lost, like.
Yeah,
like,
by some loser.
When you
raised by some loser.
Yeah, like when you get a dog for the first time, the first thing you should do is give the dog peanut butter, so you become the dog's favorite.
Yes.
It's the same way with a kid. You want to be the one that like spoils the kid, so the kid
Except
likes
you give him the peanut butter from a distance. You send him letters telling him how great he is,
Yeah.
and that if he becomes famous, that I was always there for you.
Yeah.
And then he becomes a famous writer. It's just something about letters and writing that made me so. I like peanut butter, so I'm a famous writer. Thanks to my dad sending me letters from prison.
I would. I don't know.
Leave the country.
I wouldn't
leave the country. Go make another estranged kid.
You can leave the country. The kid's still yours.
Yeah, the kid's still yours.
Just leave a trail of kids behind you.
I think. Well, let me see here. Like, because we've pissed off the gays, we've pissed off probably black people, and
really,
women so far. So who else could we upset with this question?
If the estranged kid was baby Jesus,
yes,
and then you just stuck your finger in the soft part of its head, and his eyes went cross-eyed. You wiggle it around in there, and that's Christmas time.
Well, let's bring it like to Star Wars. Like, what if like your son was like the chosen one, like he was Anakin Skywalker, Jared? Would you want to be involved then?
Oh, of course, I'm not against being a parent. I'm hesitant. If the kid's perfect,
listen,
then I'm like, all right, I can do this.
He was created by the Force.
Yeah.
Then I maybe I'll stick around for the hockey games. Wow, this is hockey games.
I think the most fun sport-wise we've had, Hayden, and obviously you're not like the biggest of sport. Like when I met you didn't like sports. But when the Bruins were playing the Leafs in those 2 years straight that they played the Leafs, like that was really fun because it was Canada versus America, of course, and he went into both of those series. I was like, Hayden, the Leafs and the Bruins are playing. It's like, oh, the Leafs always lose, though. I don't want to watch this. It's like, I don't know, the Leafs are pretty good, and I still think the Leafs were better than the Bruins on paper. In the second time they met, the Leafs should have won that series. But every time they just got close enough, and then the Leafs just broke Hayden's heart every time. Hayden didn't get like that upset about it, but like when the
I'm
Leafs
already
lost in
housed.
Game 7, he was like, "Yep, this is my fault. I let them get my hopes."
They did it again. They keep doing it. Fallout 4, the Leafs.
Oh yeah, we should do like a Cyberpunk update, right? Because that's still in the news. Have you?
Did you guys get returns
Yeah,
yet?
did you
Or
get
you
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
even buy it, did you?
No, I didn't buy
Check
it.
my bank
Nope.
statement.
Did you've been trying to tell us how the refund's going? Because I know you're trying to get a refund right now.
It's basically just like a link on Sony's website. And it just says request. You have to sign in, prove you bought the game, and then just click a button that says request refund. And you can just refresh the page and do it like a million times. I don't know exactly if it means anything if you do it twice, but I've done it like 4 times now. And we'll find out in 1 second. I have not gotten the money back.
Anything like that saying, okay, we're going to do it? Anything like that?
They
Or
might have. I
waiting?
feel like I would get an email, but they might have given me like store credit. I just haven't been on my PlayStation in a couple days.
See,
I've seen a lot of memes about the game quality, and it's like doing that intro where you're on like a subway or something. It's like, look at this downtown, wherever we are, where all the crime happens, and it's like 8-bit. There's no backdrop anymore. Every building's gray, like in a rectangle.
Right. They actually released a patch
Is that what it's
yesterday.
like, or is that a joke? Is that a
No,
joke?
it's real. No, it's real.
No way.
yeah,
That was probably pre the first patch when it was at its worst.
it's
Oh, that's so good. I didn't know it was that bad. I was like,
yeah, it's
I was hoping, but I couldn't possibly imagine a AAA title coming out looking worse than Fable 1 did.
no one can really like review. Like I haven't seen an actual review for like what's in the game because most people are like, I couldn't get that far because the game just cannot run.
Yeah,
I don't.
They could be
I-
sued. Thank goodness they're doing these refunds. They probably legally have to because they were
that's the
told we
thing.
can't
That's the
sell
thing
a
that's
game
so
that we claim
stunning.
is playable and is not.
The thing that's so stunning about this is that like Sony and Microsoft, giant corporations, are being made to look like the heroes in this situation because they're offering refunds. And that
some
to
stores
me,
are too. I know Best Buy said if you bring back a physical copy, they'll give you a refund.
like even giant corporations like Walmart, Sony, Microsoft, Best Buy are like
Everybody's banding together in this
yeah,
time.
everyone's banding together and is realizing that all right, enough of this garbage.
It's Hurricane
GameStop.
Cyberpunk.
If you bought it at GameStop, you're fucked.
Yeah, well, if you bought it at GameStop, that's your problem,
fault.
man.
Go to Microplay and EB Games. That's where you buy your game.
GameStop.
All right, I just requested another refund. We'll see
We're up
what
to number
happens.
5.
It's like that. It's like that Bernie Sanders meme. I am once again requesting a refund for Cyberpunk.
Your financial support. Have I showed you that meme of Bernie Sanders walking down an escalator, and he's and then they put General Grievous leaving on Utapau, and he's coming out of a ship, and it looks identical. Dun, 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 dun.
Really?
Hold on, I could probably put it up to the camera.
We don't need to. I don't need to see it right now. But I just obviously before Cyberpunk came out, like what game was like the worst launch in history? Do you think?
Definitely.
Fallout 76.
No Man's Sky, right?
Oh yeah, that's true.
Both good
The
answers.
hype train built so high on that one.
So comparing it to No Man's Sky and Fallout 76, is this a worse launch than both of those games?
Oh,
This is the worst ever, I think. At least that I know of.
I think so as
especially because
well.
they're such good guys. I get, we can always, you look at Fallout 76 and everyone's like, yeah, it's horrible. Look at the game prior Fallout 4 and that was boring and bad. And then you look at CG Projects Red. They did Witcher 3, of course, which is great. Skyrim, which is great. But what I'm saying is there's always one stain right before there's the tide recedes and then the tsunami comes in. So for what, Cyberpunk 2077, the horrible one was Last of Us Part 2. They didn't even get a good story anymore.
The game worked. It was just the story was garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
That's not the word. I think the gameplay was good. I like at least that's what people play. It's sad.
Nah.
Oh, what, Last of Us?
Bunch
Like,
of
The Last of
boring.
Us is like a perfect game. It was just the decisions they made with the story. That's it.
And then this one came out.
Cyberpunk was The Last of Us. Go ahead. Sorry.
Is this the worst? I think. Okay. Well, a bunch of people. You could at least play with your friends on Fallout 70, whatever, Fallout 76. You could at least play with them for I don't know a second. You could run around in the world. That's cool.
I liked what Jared was saying because he was like, he's like a single player guy, and he was like, all these games have come out that have been disappointments and broken on release that were multiplayer games, and all the single player people always laugh. But now the single player community got burned on one.
Exactly. You've pissed off the single player. And we hard. We very hard when we don't get what we want.
Yeah, that's all you guys have. You don't have friends to multiplayer with.
Exactly.
I still, for the life of me, do not understand all these people that are defending the corporation, like the developers here. Like, the game's not that bad. People just complaining. Like, do you have eyes? Open them. The game obviously fucking sucks.
Skyrim needed a patch on day one. I don't think so. Maybe.
I remember seeing like a tweet, and I read this to you, Hayden, of this like a guy being like, well, GTA 5 was bad at launch. Red Dead Redemption 2 was bad at launch. Like, no, it wasn't. Those games worked perfectly fine at release.
I was gonna say
Red Dead
GTA
2
5 was
was
perfectly fine. There was
Yeah,
nothing
I
wrong
think
with
Red
GTA
Dead
5 at
2
launch.
was as well. It was like a polished gem.
I mean,
All that microtransaction money, they came out with a good game with
here's the thing.
a
Here's
good
the thing.
story.
Why the Cyberpunk defenders
a good single player.
don't have a leg to stand on when it comes to these graphics. It's because you look at, like, when you play Red Dead Redemption 2, which is the game that's now like what 2 years old at this point. When you play
I know that game runs perfectly.
Yeah, that game is the prettiest game I've ever played. It runs perfectly smooth and
I haven't
everything.
found any bugs in the single player, at least.
And you look at that game, and that is a perfectly good-looking game. And the fact that a game like Cyberpunk, which has been in production since the start of Obama's second term, could not run on an Xbox One or a PlayStation 4
current gen console
is beyond embarrassing, and they deserve to be criticized for it. And if you're defending,
Duke Nukem 3D came out and it was horrible, and everyone was upset because it took years and years to come out.
If you're defending,
I don't think anyone was upset about Duke Nukem.
You weren't on the hype train.
It is a Duke Nukem situation, though.
From what I've heard from, like, I listen to some video game podcasts, it's very difficult to go from like a third-person game or a big third-person game to a big first-person game, or vice versa. But like, even that's not really an excuse, because Guerrilla made Killzone for years and then made Horizon, and those ran perfectly fine, so it can be done. I just think Cyberpunk should have been almost like a clone of The Witcher, just futuristic. Going first person, they had to change up the entire coding of the game, which made it more difficult, and obviously they couldn't do it.
I just think, like, all these, like, all the people are saying, like, the people who worked on the game, the actual developers, are playing what I like to call the bitchy card, oh, we couldn't, it wasn't us at all. The window, the timelines and the deadlines were unrealistic from the start. And it's like, what do you mean they were unrealistic? 8 years is unrealistic? I'm sorry. Maybe I'm coming off as a dick here. But if you give me 8 years, and I'm sure it's the same with you two, if you give us 3 years, I guarantee you, we could do more work than these assholes put in on Cyberpunk. Like, when did they start making this game?
Yeah, I'd just make a Halo 2 clone. That's what I'd do. Everyone would buy that.
It seems to me now that this game, like, Jared, you say how, like,
call that the 343.
You think Halo Infinite, like, doesn't even exist, really? I don't think Cyberpunk existed until like a year, maybe 2 at most ago.
They were just lying about making it for years.
I honestly think so.
8 years you're talking about, like 2 of them they spent fixing The Witcher. and the same's going to be said now for whatever the next Witcher game. Oh, it took 5 years of development. It's going to take way less than 8 years. But the first 2 years of that development, they're fixing Cyberpunk.
Then that's embarrassing. It's a failure. It's a failure then. Because you cannot release a game, charge people $60 for it, and then expect them, all right, guys, give us 2 years to fix this. What?
And Outer Worlds came out great.
Yeah, Outer Worlds came out, and it was perfect.
It's a lot smaller of a game, which isn't a negative.
Maybe we should make smaller games for a bit until we learn our shit. We get our shit together.
God damn. The more and more I just talk about video games,
that's why I trusted them, because they made the biggest world like ever, and it was awesome. So I trusted them. You're my brother, Cyberpunk.
When they delayed it again from like to December 10th, I started getting worried. I started getting real worried because I was like, what's the point of delaying a game for like 2-3 weeks? Yeah, when you've had 8 years to make it, like, oh boy, maybe it's just gonna be bad.
Procrastination. That's what that means. Teacher, I need another week to work on this assignment.
Like 8 years. But think of all the games that have come out in 8 years. Both GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2 were made in that time frame, and they both came out, and there was nothing wrong with them in terms of running.
I like that meme. It was PS2 and Xbox had 3 Grand Theft Auto games, and Grand Theft Auto 5 has had 3 consoles because they just keep porting it.
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
Even though it's obviously way more massive than those 3 games.
They're adding a new part to the map now.
It's like some Colombian type thing.
It's like
just make GTA 6. Just stop it.
Well, they're not going to until they squeeze every last dollar out of that game, man.
They could keep it going forever if they wanted to. I mean, people are going to buy this.
You could have a paid DLC sort of, the microtransaction, pay $5.99 and you get to be in this new map area for a month.
I think what they're gonna do is that with like
Dr. Dre's in it.
They'll make GTA 6 like the story mode type thing, but I think like they're just gonna keep GTA Online.
The online will be separate.
Yeah, I think they'll just like up. They'll just be like, we're taking down GTA 5 Online for a little bit. We're going to update it with like GTA 6 graphics and everything. And it's just going to continue being GTA Online. Your character will be able to...
I don't think I'll buy the story mode then. I'll just stay online, man. I don't care. Screw that nonsense.
No, I'll definitely...
You wouldn't play a brand new GTA 6 if it was just a single player game.
I mean, hold on. If there's no microtransactions in the campaign, I'll think about it. But if there is, no.
Why would there be microtransactions in a campaign?
They've never...
We don't do that here.
They did it in
Shadow of War. Shadow of War had microtransactions.
Boosters and stuff like that to unlock missions. Odyssey, I believe.
They took them out.
Odyssey did that.
They might have...
Did Odyssey have microtransactions?
Yeah, or was it Origins? I think it was Odyssey.
I played the entire game and I didn't know that. So.
There's the ability to level up faster. You can unlock stuff when you get your XP boosters. So if that does happen, then no, I'm not going to play. And you know how heavy they are on microtransactions now. Why wouldn't they put in stuff like that? People are going to do it.
I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that they're not going to put microtransactions into the story mode.
Single player.
But they will pump it in I think GTA Online basically become a mobile game.
It would be tough for them to basically just say, "Oh, GTA Online's done," because I know they just re-released Red Dead Online, but you can just buy the online version. It's like $5. Because I saw that on PC, and I think they'll probably just rebrand GTA Online and re-release it.
Yeah, I also think the same thing. I like they'll have GTA 6. Like, hey, this is just story mode.
They need to detach it from GTA 5 somehow, so people don't just assume it's an old gen thing.
Yeah. And would you? I mean, I would pay $60 for just a single player GTA 6.
I wouldn't pay $75 for a single player GTA.
Oh yeah, it's more for you. I thought it was $80 for you.
Yeah, it's $80. They round up.
80's tough.
That's not called rounding up from 75 to 80.
That's how the Canadian economy works. We'll round it up.
They round up for tariffs and duty. They got to round up for duty.
No one rounds up $5. Like you round up when it's like 75.32, and you're like, all right, let's call it 75.40 or 75.50. But we'll round up.
You don't round up change.
Yeah. No, you round up like decimals and like. You might as well round up
release of
change.
a product. Find me a product, any product that was released, and there were like, it wasn't 99 cents is the change.
Yeah, I know.
40 cents.
I'm just spitballing here. You don't imagine like a developer being like, we were gonna make it $75, but we rounded up and made it $85.
Well, they have free healthcare, so it all evens out.
I just with Cyberpunk, man, I'm just I can't remember a game that's just come out and had a worse release, and I think it's done. Like there will be a time.
First,
go ahead.
Saying map coordinates the other day. I don't know if you guys heard about this. I don't even know how they put it out. I don't think they tweeted it out. I think it might have been like a thing in Grand Theft Auto 5 somebody found. But the Google Map locations show this road, and it's the Roman numeral 6. So everyone's like, "Oh, here we go! It's coming." So it's probably coming within the next 5 years. Second thing, we should talk about Back 4 Blood.
Oh yeah, I was telling Hayden about this yesterday. Jared told me about
This game looks insanely good.
Do you want to talk about it, Jared, since it was your discovery?
Looks good.
Oh no, I mean, if you wanted to, you can go ahead.
If you want to, you can go ahead.
But if you want to, you can go ahead. So
Shaw.
I was telling you this briefly about this yesterday, Hayden. But the people that actually made Left 4 Dead are basically ripping on. They're just making Left 4 Dead 3 at this point.
Is it Valve? Are they not making games? Because
they don't. The company's called Turtle Rock, but they don't have the rights to Left 4 Dead because Steam owns the rights. So they're basically just like, oh, we'll just make Left 4 Dead 3, but call
everyone
it
else owns Left 4 Dead. Why not? It's the basic zombie game now. Spitter, boomers, charger, tank.
It's back with the number 4 blood, so it's like it's exactly like Left 4 Dead, and like it's 4 characters. The story doesn't seem really like that. Like it doesn't seem like a story-based game.
No one cares about the story of Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
Oh my god, guys!
I don't even know what the story of Left 4 Dead is. All I know is that Left 4 Dead is probably the best co-op game that you can play with your friends.
I hope there's a big black guy in it who's named Coach. And he's all like, why do people out of all the things people complain about, isn't it amazing that people have not complained about a black guy in a video game whose name is Coach and just goes, come back! Gee,
is that racist? Is that a racist thing?
I don't think so. I think it's based off Coach Carter, the movie.
Oh, Samuel L. Jackson.
Yes, this is the after 10 years after Coach Carter is on.
Left 4 Dead 2 really wanted to cash in on that Coach Carter money.
Yeah.
Man, there'll never be at the time.
We can't make a product without involving that movie. It was such a success.
Coach Carter, man. The Coach Carter cinematic universe really spans through a lot.
World War Z happened.
Coach Carter was successful. Was the reason that the zombie franchise got so so popular because of Coach Carter. But it is a little interesting that what people find offensive and what. That's why like the people that get offended over everything like aren't taken seriously because there's no consistency with them. They go about their day. They find new things. Once they find something that they find offensive, they just jump all over it.
People are getting excited to ruin the new Lord of the Rings TV series. That's exciting for them.
Oh, really?
They the director was is a guy who made a Star Trek movie, and everyone hates him. And he described I don't think it's him. He described the Lord of the Rings series as incredibly diverse, and everyone's like, "What do you? Why? It's Lord of the Rings." It's, at no point does Mr. Tolkien ever describe it as a diverse cast of characters. Why does that matter? It's supposed to be some sort of mythology for
I'm
English
sure one
people.
day he'll sell the rights to Disney, and then you'll get smacked in the fucking face like we did.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
so excited for this to be bad. Then I can join the cult with you
I
guys. We
can't.
can put more
That would
hats
be great.
together and hate everybody.
I hope Disney buys Lord of the Rings because you care about Lord of the Rings like we care about Star Wars. Because
Yeah.
Jared and I will be there for you. We'll put our arm on your shoulder and be like, "Welcome to the club, pal."
They did. See, because The Hobbit was, I could watch The Hobbit. It wasn't bad. I mean,
The Hobbit was the prequels for us. They're
Yeah,
bad, but
The
you
Hobbit.
enjoy them.
Yeah, The Hobbit
I
was
had a-
bad, but it was made with love and care.
It was a little bit more of that tasty Lord of the Rings juice I could sip on.
Yeah,
You could tell it was made by somebody that knew Lord of the Rings.
yeah.
For the most part. I mean, they put Legolas in there, but people wanted to see him anyway, so he's just shoehorned in.
It's like 3PO for us. He's in everything. Like, oh god, here he is again.
Yeah,
I would
he's
not.
our
I
Jar
would not
Jar.
equate Legolas to C-3PO. Legolas is actually cool and he actually does something. Where C-3PO is like, "Oh, R2, no." Like,
Oh,
C-3PO.
it was so cool in
the
the new ones when
prequels.
they had to wipe his memory, and then it didn't matter anyway, so never mind.
I watched. Oh God, those movies, man. Jared, did you know that they wiped C-3PO's memory? And it's like this supposed to be this
At the
big.
end of Revenge of the Sith.
No,
Yeah, they're like, we need to
no.
learn how to read
In
Sithis or something.
episode 9, because I know you haven't seen it. What they do is C-3PO, like they need to read Sith, and it's like, no, I can't. Like I can, like C-3PO's like, I can read Sith, but like I'm not allowed to do it.
So it's like
I
saying
know
the
what
N word.
that says.
So they say they
I
go
can
to
say
like
the N word, but I can't, guys.
they go to this
I
The
have
guy.
the
sin's right
ability.
there.
They go to this character whose character is just only made for one thing and one thing only, and it's to sell toys. That's this entire character. He's
Is
like a
that the
cute.
girl with the butthole eyes?
No, it's just a cute
Oh, I
little
know.
like puppet thing that goes, eh! And everyone's like, "Oh, I'll buy 10 units of toys, please." It goes. They go to
Like
that
turning
guy.
Chewbacca into a prop. Chewbacca was a character, now he's just a prop to sell toys for
Yeah.
Disney.
They go to that character, and then it's like this big. It's supposed to be like this big sad thing because they're like, "All right, he can read Sith, but we have to reprogram him. He'll lose his memory."
It would have been really cool.
And well, I don't think it would have
But
because
nobody gave a damn. None of the people on the story were like, "Oh
C-
my god, oh no." They're like, "All right, let's do it. Yeah, you ready? Yeah, he's a robot. Fuck him. All right, bye bye."
Well, I honestly don't mind about that because like they should be like that because it is just a robot at the end of the day, and they need to find out. But the story aside, doesn't matter.
It's true, but maybe give him a second. Be like, "We're sorry," or I'll make
Anyway,
sure.
doesn't
talking
matter.
because
Doesn't matter.
None of this exists to me.
It doesn't matter
It
because
never
what
happened.
happens is C-3PO they wipe his.
I was offended, by the way.
They-
I don't even like it. I was offended.
They wipe his mind. Like right before they wipe his mind, he's like, "I'm taking one last look at all of my friends." It's like bullshit.
Oh,
They
it was in the trailer.
they shit on you on the daily, C-3PO. They make
Yeah.
fun of you on the fucking daily. They're not your friends. And you're like, all right, I guess C-3PO is basically dead, except they bring him back because R2-D2 has all of his memories on file.
Somehow. Like a creep.
I
I didn't know R2 was a freak.
yeah,
Download his friends' memories just in case they get wiped.
it's fucking like the prequels.
And how much of his memories?
Well,
That
like to
doesn't-
bring
Why
it
didn't
back
R2 like say that beforehand then?
to
He
Was he
wasn't
not
like,
there?
anywhere near.
I
or
don't know. He
something
probably
like that.
wasn't there. Doesn't matter.
They just shoehorned it in. I'm sure it's not an ability
that's
that
what you
R2
have to
has
look
in the
forward
actual
to.
universe.
That's the type of stuff you have to look forward to, Hayden. If with Lord of the Rings, because listen, I was excited for Lord of the Rings as well, this TV show, but looking at everything that's like ever been brought back from the dead. It's only
Yeah,
been brought back.
it'll be like we
Oh, yeah,
got
the Amazon show, I forgot about that.
coming, and he's like, I will stand and guard as all the children make it safely home. And we're like, you're such a hero, and then he dies fighting awesomely. And then Legolas I'm using elf magic, and I brought him back. Now he can continue to be alive and sell toys.
It's just,
Do you think they're going to make a third Shadow of game, or do you think they're going to make like a big open world RPG that's like connected to this show?
I don't think the show's coming out soon, so they might make another
no,
game.
I think it is
You mean the
relatively.
game
I
isn't
think it's
either.
coming out like 2022.
Oh, okay.
The Halo TV show comes out in 2021. That's going to be a big moment for Halo.
Wait, the
ARC
what TV show?
is coming out too.
The Halo TV show. Did you not
You
know
mean that
about
guy
that?
from Fortnite?
Yeah. Oh jeez.
I heard the girl that does the voice of Cortana was like in it or something.
Yeah, they put Jen
That's
Taylor
all
in it.
that's
It's
all I want. I want the girl there and a tiny hot blue girl hologram.
she's
That's all I want.
pretty cool that they're putting Jen Taylor in the show.
Something tells me they'll fuck it up.
They will.
Something tells me.
Because here's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be they're doing it with they're having a guy play Master Chief, and what's gonna happen is Master Chief's gonna walk up, he's gonna talk. It's not gonna sound like Steve Downes, and
They
everyone's
shouldn't
gonna,
have Master Chief in it. I think. I don't think it should be.
I think
don't
they
it
should
be there.
because what I mean, Halo doesn't have.
What else is it gonna be? I know who else is it gonna be, but
They
mean,
could
they
have
could've-
Spartan Locke in it because
You could-
everybody loves him.
Yeah,
you could follow the Arbiter. You could follow a whole bunch of other people. I feel like
Yeah, but if the Arbiter's in it and it's not, what's his name? That's Keith David. That's even
yeah,
a bigger
that's
problem.
That's
yeah, that's
bigger-
even a bigger problem.
You
That
can't
was
do
my
that.
assumption. I guess then you could follow a group of Marines being all cool, but then it would basically be like any other war
I
show.
mean, I
Band of
think
Brothers
what they should do. Band of
I'm gonna look
Brothers
up the
with
show
Halo.
and see who's in it.
You have that guy who played Freddie Mercury there pulling out the teeth of an elite to keep him or something like that.
I think what they
I don't know any of these names.
what they could have done is they could have taken like a Noble Team and then like just done like what did Noble Team do before Reach or something like that.
Yeah, just shooting people,
The
quelling.
guy who's playing Master Chief, his name's Pablo. I don't know what that's. Schreiber, and he's from British Columbia.
Burn any front that stands forward.
That
But
means he has to pay
they
$80
have
for
to
video
put
games.
they have to have Master Chief in it because that's all that Halo's known for.
Yeah, but
like,
it puts like a sour taste in my mouth because I know they're not going to get that right. It's going to be weird.
yeah, I mean they should have just done like what they did with Darth Vader, like have a guy play him and then have Steve Downes do the voice. That's what they should have
When
done.
does it take place? Is like in between.
Oh, I
one
have
and
no
two or
idea.
something?
I have no idea. I mean, Hayden and I were playing Halo yesterday. And we were talking about it, like how all the Halo, first 3 games take place in like 4 months time.
Mhm.
Like it happens in 14 hours basically. Reach gets invaded. They go to
Yeah.
slip space. They go to on the ring for a couple
Then
days.
Halo 1 takes off.
They go
and
back
Halo
to
1
Earth.
lasts
The
about
Covenant
a
finds them on Earth after they get to Earth. And then like a week goes by. They find the second ring, and then another week goes by. Master Chief goes back to Earth, defends Earth for another couple weeks, and then that's it.
Yeah, and then he's in hibernation for Halo 4.
Yeah. I guess they could do. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do.
I
They'll
kind of
figure out
like stuff
something.
like that where there's no gaps. It all runs together.
Yeah,
Like
it's
John
kinda-
Wick, the 3 movies take place in 1 week.
Oh really?
I think they could do Master Chief training and then Cortana picking.
They already
who she
did
likes.
that with the Fall
The
of Reach.
description just says aliens threaten human existence in an epic 26th century showdown.
Yeah, all right. That's so before the flood get found, and that's the
I like how
real.
they just put aliens. Like we know what they're called.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's very worrying.
Just
Yeah.
throw the word aliens.
Aliens fight against humans who have to struggle with diversity.
They could do.
It's not gonna be good.
They could do Master Chief fighting on Reach. I mean, that's a story that hasn't been told because we know that Master Chief was on Reach, but we just don't play as Master Chief. There.
Does it say who's directing this thing?
I think it's a well-known director, actually.
It just has the stars of the show on it.
I think Will needs to make his movie. That's what needs to happen.
Dude, I'm telling you, if I ever get rich, man,
Halo fanfic.
if I
Oh,
get rich,
here's one. There's someone's playing teenage John. So they're
Yeah.
going to be young.
Yeah, they're
Halo
gonna do that
guys.
flashback, I guess, then to him training. Godzilla, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars.
Yeah, again.
Part of the reason I like Master Chief so much is because he doesn't say that much.
yeah, you
And if
can.
they're going to do
Like
this,
Doom
he's going to
guy?
say a lot. Yeah, like Doom Guy.
I hope they
Maybe they
treat him-
don't have Steve Downs because he's not gonna say a thing. Things are just gonna happen.
I think what they should do.
Even teenage John's not going to say a thing.
I think what they should do is to treat Master Chief exactly like
Just
they
to
treat
go,
the Mandalorian. That's
Just
what I
talk a
think.
little bit.
Just talk the bare fucking minimum, pal. Bare fucking minimum.
I
That's
know-
all we need.
Who's Miranda Keys? I feel like I've heard that name.
Miranda
She's
Keys
basically running the army.
is the
sort
little cutie pie that
of. She's
looks-
the
Oh, the
daughter of
second one,
Captain
right?
Keys of the UNSC.
yeah.
So
Well,
basically,
she's black now, so
cool. I hope she's hot at least.
she looks young.
That's
looks very
number
young.
one. All right, that's number one.
If she told me she was 12, I would believe it.
the
And that picture's from 2018. Okay, so she's definitely older.
she's like 14
the thing
now.
with I just think they should treat it exactly like how they treat the Mandalorian. Just talk the bare minimum. Get on to the
I hope we get to see some Spartan heads on spikes.
Honestly, they probably might copy The Mandalorian since it's so relevant right now.
Yeah, I mean, do it.
Bill
I can
Burr's
see that
gonna
being
be
a
in
thing.
it too.
I would
Of
love.
course he is.
I just
He
want
just
this to be
parachutes into
good
things that are good.
so bad because Halo needs a win, man. It's been a
They should
long
have Michelle
time.
Rodriguez be in it for a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
those
Shout out
two.
to the
And
fans.
Who's the guy? The guy voice in Halo 2?
David Cross.
Yes, David Cross. This
That'd be
is
fun.
See
Little
terrible.
this?
Easter egg.
This is terror. You hit
50
Marine.
cal, rockets, didn't do a thing. That's all
Oh.
I need.
Where's the rest
So
of
it
your
is kind of like The
platoon?
Mandalorian where different people are directing different episodes.
They should have George Lucas direct an episode.
George Lucas is dead.
I'm gonna change the shape of an energy sword. It's gonna be just a line. It's gonna go zoom, zoom, zoom as it spins around.
Master Chief's gonna wear a cloak and he's gonna use the Force.
He's gonna wear a cloak like in the Halo 4 trailer.
No, I think it was
Because I
Halo 5 trailer.
really liked that one. I really liked it.
George Lucas gets too much hate, man. He gets way too much hate.
Oh shit! One of the guys that's writing for the show is the guy that wrote for Halo 1, 2, Reach, 3. So at least you have that. That's
Really good.
positive.
It's good.
I just hope they
Ooh, and State of Decay 2. Eee.
Yeah.
need a win here. They need a win. Halo needs a win here.
They're right for State of Decay 2. There's no.
I don't think Infinite's going to be your win, but we'll see. At least you have this. It's optimistic.
We got a show. We got a game.
Ooh,
Before we, you want to end it like the? All right, let's end it here. Patriots against
Jared,
the Dolphins. Who
You got
wins?
that rant, Jared?
Oh yeah, Jared, you want to do your rant?
no.
All right,
Save
I
it
guess
for,
we're
save it
saving
for
that
next
one.
week.
We're
Save
saving
it for next week.
That one's in the pipe, you guys. In the pipe.
Yeah, it's in the pipe, guys. All right, so we'll end it here. Who wins? Patriots, Dolphins. Patriots at Dolphins, 1:00. Who wins?
Don't the Dolphins have nice pants?
That is true. Aiden, you saw the Dolphins uniforms.
And that's my prediction. They will have nice pants.
They wear the pants in that game.
Belichick does not lose against rookie quarterbacks. I'm taking the Pats.
I'm taking the Dolphins, and I'm rooting for the Dolphins.
See, every year when Patriots have like a tough game, Will always takes the Pats because that's how he is. And now this year he's so convinced they're terrible that he's always going to pick
They're
the other
not.
team.
They're not terrible. Like they're good. They just can't play up to their potential like they should. Here's what they do.
I think they'll beat the Dolphins.
Yeah, here's what's actually gonna happen. They're gonna beat the Dolphins. And then like they'll even get some help. Like maybe even the Ravens will lose to the Jacksonville
Fumbles.
Jaguars or something like that. And people will start
Oh, yeah, no,
believing
that's
in,
not
in
happening.
them going to the playoffs again. And here's what's gonna happen. They're gonna play the Buffalo Bills. They're gonna get creamed by the Buffalo Bills. Because as soon as the Patriots play up to their potential and they beat a good team, what they do is the next week they just shit the fucking bed. They shit the fucking bed. And all it becomes is a meaningless win. The win against the Jets, meaningless. The win against the Cardinals, meaningless. The win against the Ravens, meaningless. All this just hurt your draft position. If they lost
It's
to the
all about
Jets,
Belichick and his legacy. That's why
yeah, I
he
know.
wants to beat the all-time wins record.
Yeah, and I want to see a good football team again. Be great to
Well,
get.
you're not going to get Trevor Lawrence, who literally just obliterated Notre Dame yesterday. He
Oh,
is so good.
yeah.
Hayden, there's a guy that looks like you.
Yeah,
He's
he
going to
does
be
look like
the
you.
next
How
Tom
many?
Brady.
People don't know what our faces look like. If you know what Trevor Lawrence looks like, that's exactly what Hayden Van Dyke looks like.
Except Hayden doesn't have the nose that Trevor Lawrence has. Everything else is Hayden though.
I would say
He's got a big gross nose.
I haven't seen all these people, but apparently you guys keep seeing different versions of me everywhere.
yeah, that's true. We'll go on to like
Geralt of Rivia looks like you too,
on,
except he has a beard.
Tom
Don't
Hanks
worry,
also looks like you.
Oh, awesome. I hope he's not a pedophile. That would suck. That would be a big.
I always had a theory that something's gonna come down the pipe with Tom Hanks, man. I've always had a theory.
I don't think it's gonna be a Me Too or anything silly like that.
Like it'll be an
But
actual serious type thing, like he murdered 12
It's gotta
people
be.
and got away with it somehow, like it was a massive cover up.
Or something. It's gotta be something crazy. He spends all his Toy Story money on covering it up. Something like that.
He only filmed the Polar Express specifically to cover up the fact for all of his murders.
Oh, real quick, what's your favorite Christmas movies? Is it that?
Yeah, it's gotta be Polar Express. Gotta be.
Really?
That one
Yeah.
is really fun to watch with Will.
I was gonna ask this. I forgot to ask. What was your favorite Christmas gift? Since we're coming up on Christmas.
Oh, I had a Red Ryder BB gun when I was younger, and nothing
What a
nothing changes
stereotypical answer.
changes
Yeah.
changes the mind of a
Was your-
boy until he
Was your
realizes
dad wearing a wife beater and then beat your mom right after?
once you can slay a squirrel from afar, the world's your oyster. I think every young boy needs a gun.
Should we end it there with every young boy needs a gun?
My parents
about
never
you,
let me
Jay?
have a BB gun. That's why I have soft hands.
Well,
My favorite gift probably ever was
time away from your sister when she goes to
Yeah,
college.
probably. I forgot to talk
Oh.
about that. God damn.
The best gift is not having a gift in the bathroom when you need it.
Yeah.
Do we make this an extra long one? You want to go on your sister?
No, I'll go with Jared's rant on that one. I'll save that one for next week.
Yeah, that's also up the pipe.
Oh,
All
my
viewers,
favorite.
I just
favorite
I made
gift
some
was
alcohol. Finally finished up today. I bottled it. Everything looks gross. That's my gift to myself.
sounds gross. On New Year's Eve not New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve for like the longest time, our parents would always give us like one small gift that we could open.
Yeah.
And my parents screwed up and gave me a PS2 game because they thought it was something else. And I was like, oh my God, that means I got a PS2. And then my dad was like, son of a bitch, we're just doing Christmas now. And then my mom got mad. So my favorite gift was my PS2.
Was that I was like that game was Cyberpunk 2077.
And it's still not fixed.
Yeah. Son,
So
in
they did that to me. I
2025
opened
this
up
game will work.
Xbox 360 game, and I was like, "Oh, you guys, you don't understand. This doesn't work for this one," because I assumed they were idiots. They weren't in the culture like I was.
Probably the best Christmas
And they
gift I ever
got you a
got.
Wii U in the other room.
Probably the best Christmas gift I got was my PS3 when I got that. That was fun. That was a fun time. That was like my first big Christmas gift that I can remember.
I got a chunk of coal once. That was really cool. I asked for it for years and years and years, and then I finally got it. It took so long to get.
Imagine how much the parents must look like assholes when they go into the store and like, yeah, I need to buy coal. Like, oh, you fucking dick. Jesus Christ, it's a story. You need to go hard with it or
They
anything.
probably don't think it's a gift. They probably think they're actually going to use it.
No, because you buy it around Christmas time, you can put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, you get a small chunk of it. What are you gonna? I'm gonna warm my house with this one.
Did you see there was a mall Santa that the kid asked for a
Jared
Nerf gun? A Jamal Santa. And the Santa said, no, you can't have guns for Christmas. And then the mom was like, oh, no, it's a Nerf gun. It's not a real gun. And then the Santa started freaking out in the store amongst everyone, talking about gun rights and how kids shouldn't have Nerf guns for their kids.
I get what he's saying, and it's hilarious that he was saying
They had to grab him and throw him out of the mall.
And honestly, like,
it would have been better if he went crazy and was like, "Gun! She's got a gun!"
Like, here's the thing with that. Like, obviously, that Santa's crazy for saying that right then and there in front of a bunch of kids. However, like when people talk about like gun like
Definitely
take away guns
wrong.
or give more guns, I think it kind of like you can see like there's a lot of toy guns, man, and I feel like that like contributes to the problem. It's not the problem. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, so do you think shooting in a video game also has the connection?
No.
Video games are perfect. Video games can do nothing wrong.
I'm saying that it could be,
but a Nerf gun,
0.5% of the problem. I think 0.5%, maybe half.
It's got to do something to put a gun in the hands of a baby, right?
I think it's the medium more than anything.
It's a toy gun. I mean, you know what? I almost don't think so. I mean, I held that Red Ryder BB gun. I wasn't.
I got a Red Ryder BB gun for my mom for this Christmas, and I took it out of the package because I wanted to see it. And Hayden was like, "If you look on your left, the safety's there." And I looked on my left, and the safety was there.
I tell you what, I'd say it didn't imprint anything, but I imprinted everything on it. I was like, "This is my rifle. There are many like it, but this one is mine." To this day, I know how to operate a Red Ryder BB gun in the dark, upside down, hanging from a pole. I can take it apart, put it back together before my nose starts to bleed.
Christmas time, man. What a special time.
Christmas time is here.
All right. So you got a final score prediction you want to do? Hayden, give me a final score for the Patriots-Dolphins game.
No idea. I'm good at making bread now. I've got that skill down.
Just give me 2 numbers. What do you think the Patriots are going to score?
I couldn't rub 2 pickles together if you ask me to.
Okay. Jared, give me a score prediction.
27-2. 10.
Oh, that's all you wanted me to do?
Yeah, I said score prediction.
Oh, why didn't you just say so?
I said give me 2 numbers. I said literally give me 2 numbers.
You're asking for score predictions?
All right.
See, this is why you can't get your kids BB guns when they're young.
Yeah.
I know.
They can't answer simple questions.
All they think about is guns.
All Hayden's thinking about is murdering children.
So
only school kids.
Give me 2 numbers, Hayden.
15 and 13.5.
Oh.
Very good. Very good. Almost had a real score from Hayden.
We'll round it up.
We'll round it up.
45.
To 42 points scored for the Patriots. I'm gonna go with my hopes here. I hope the Dolphins win by a score of 34-13. That's what I hope happens. But in reality, I think the Patriots win, and I think they win probably big. I think they'll probably win by a score of 25 to 6.
This just
because it'll be a weird scoring game. Because that's what the Patriots do. They don't even when they win and they look good. They don't play normal. They're just not a normal football team. That's the best I could say.
No,
anyway,
yeah, they're definitely not.
That concludes the
next episode. We got Will's sister and Jared's rant up the pipe.
Gonna find my baby, gonna hold her tight. Gonna grab some afternoon delight.
I'm on my way.
When it's right, it's right.
I'm on my way.